President Cyril Ramaphosa will today respond to MPs on the State of the Nation debate. In his address last week, Ramaphosa focused on government's plans for the year and promised, among others, to revive the country's economy and to end load shedding. Opposition parties spent the past 2 days tearing apart Ramaphosa's address and his fictional character Tintswalo, a beneficiary of ANC programs. During the debate, MPs accused Ramaphosa of economic regression in South Africa, while some raised concerns over the NHI Bill and the plight of pensioners. What can we expect from President Cyril Ramaphosa? Well, political analyst Dr Levy Ndou joins me now to chat more about this. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, just before we talk about today's expectations, I mean, opposition parties didn't hold back over the past 2 days, tearing apart Ramaphosa's Tintswalo analogy for one, arguing that he's out of touch with the realities of many South Africans. What's your assessment of what we heard over the 2 days?
Good morning to you, Mpho. Good morning to the viewers at home. Thank you for having me. Well, the debate on the State of the Nation address, in my view, did not disappoint. You will recall that this is the State of the Nation address, which is being the last, heading towards the elections, and of course, you would expect the president to provide an overview of what his administration has been doing, and also at the same time, his ministers or his team and members of his party would always be talking about the positives of what happened in his administration. And equally, you would expect members of the opposition to ensure that they are seen to be doing something about the challenges that South Africans are facing, and also making sure that they don't want to be seen to be siding with whatever the president has to say, because if they do so, they will be praising the leader of who belongs to another political party. Now that the president has the advantage of making the last statement, I would expect the president to answer on all the issues raised by the different members of the opposition, and I expect him to still stick to what the government has actually achieved, and the tone of whatever he will be saying will be gearing towards electioneering and putting a posture that will suggest that the government has actually done very, very well.
Yeah. Can we expect anything when it comes to the 5 days that have been handed over? Well, the ANC has 5 days to hand over cadre deployment records to the DA after the opposition party won a court battle. We heard Minister Gwede saying that cadre deployment will continue. How much of a political headache could these records be for Ramaphosa?
Well, fortunately, this matter has been dealt with by the courts in this country. But of quite interesting is that these are issues that relate to what has been going on within the ANC, and it is the ANC that could be having the records or not having those records. The biggest question that we should ask ourselves would be, are those records there, or were they had just discussions which were not on record? Or if indeed the records are there, will the ANC oblige and provide all the records as instructed by the courts? But the ANC has nothing else to do. The ANC has nowhere to run to now. The ANC has to ensure that indeed whatever is available that deals with cadre deployment has to be provided to the Democratic Alliance.
And Ramaphosa's tough talk against corruption, I mean, also that came under scrutiny insofar as Deputy President Paul Mashatile is concerned, saying, you know, he ignored several allegations of graft leveled against his second-in-command. How much of a factor could that be in today's response?
Well, it could be a factor, but Ramaphosa might decide to shoot it down. And I will tell you why. He wouldn't want a situation where he has to be seen to be not standing under the same shadow with his deputy. At the same time, as indicated by his spokesperson some few days ago, those that feel that someone has actually done something wrong has to refer such matters to the police. And I expect Ramaphosa to say exactly the same thing. But equally, I would still expect that beyond Ramaphosa's response today, if the DA still feel that indeed there is something suspicious that could have been done by Mr. Paul Mashatile, they will still want to pursue this matter, talk more about this matter, and also use it towards the elections. Because if they feel that it can work in their favor, they will actually have to do so as long as it has the potential to weaken or discourage some from voting for the ANC.
Parties also slammed the president for ignoring South Africa's pressing socio-economic challenges like poverty, high unemployment, and inequalities in an election year, which, of course, points to the stakes being pretty high for the governing party.
Indeed, the discussions in the last 2 days focused, in my view, mainly on the issues of poverty, on the issues of unemployment, the poor economy, and load shedding. And those are the challenges that every government has to confront and provide a positive progress report on such. Even though you would have some of the ministers, which I think they utilized this opportunity to provide a feedback, because that is what every minister was doing in the past 2 days. The issue at hand is that these are broad challenges which one would not expect them to come to an end very soon, but whatever progress that could be done, one can still be able to point at few challenges that are associated with such. My view is that a program that should encompass all of us as society and political parties coming together should actually work well, because all of them will have to take responsibilities for such failures.
Very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on this discussion. Political analyst Dr Levy Ndou, talking, of course, as the expectations for President Cyril Ramaphosa as he will be responding to the 2 days of debates. Let's take